Hey everyone, welcome back to John's Watch. Today I'm taking a look at a new game called Ace Attorney Investigations Collection. This game was released on September 5th, 2024. Its regular price is $54.99 Canadian or your regional equivalent, and it's developed and published by Capcom. And I just want to say thank you very much to Capcom for giving me a free review copy of this game. This is a remastered, I guess, collection of games in the Ace Attorney series of games. For anyone unfamiliar, Ace Attorney is a series of, as it says in the title, basically lawyer visual novel puzzle games, I guess. It started off with the Phoenix Wright trilogy, which is probably the most well-known games in the series. In those games, you are a defense attorney called Phoenix Wright, and you defend your clients, and you investigate crime scenes and locations to find leads, and after the investigation phases, you go into court to begin the actual trial and basically debate against the prosecution and try and get your client found not guilty. In those games, as the defense attorney, you're matched up against a few different prosecutors, but probably the most well-known one is Miles Edgeworth. And Miles Edgeworth is exactly who you play as in the Ace Attorney Investigations collection. Whereas before you're playing as the defense attorney, in these games you're playing as the prosecutor, Miles Edgeworth. So the first Ace Attorney collection was made up of the first 3 games in the trilogy. Those were released on GBA in Japan, but Nintendo DS in North America. This collection is made up of just 2 DS games. It's Ace Attorney Investigations Miles Edgeworth, which originally came out in 2010 in North America, and also Ace Attorney Investigations 2 Prosecutor's Gambit. Just like the Phoenix Wright games, or most of the Phoenix Wright games, the first game in this collection at least is made up of 5 different cases, and if it's anything like the Phoenix Wright games, and I'm sure it is, the cases just increase in difficulty and complexity as you go along. For anyone worried about spoilers, I'll be pretty vague talking about story beats. The footage you're seeing is only from the first literally 35 minutes of the game. No gameplay footage will be after that, so that's about the first half of the very first case in the first game. And at the time of recording, I'm only halfway through the second case right now, or maybe not even halfway through. So yeah, I will not be talking about any late game spoilers at all. Something a little bit fun about the gameplay you're seeing is it was all recorded on Steam Deck. Steam recently launched a beta for Steam recording. This and the other Ace Attorney games are perfect Steam Deck games. Actually, a couple of months before this game came out, I was replaying the Ace Attorney collection on my Steam Deck. And so I didn't really want to play this one on PC, I wanted to play it on Steam Deck. So I opted into the Steam beta so I could record the footage for this game on the Steam Deck. So if it looks a little bit lower resolution than my normal videos, it's half the resolution of my normal videos, but I thought, it's a bit more authentic that it was recorded on my Steam Deck. The gameplay is somewhat similar to the Phoenix Wright games. Basically, the cases seem to start, they're not as fully segregated as the Phoenix Wright games, where you would do a bunch of investigating, then you would go into the court, and then if it was a longer case, you would go on to the next day, investigate a bunch more, then go into the court. This game seems like you've got smaller bits of each part of the game. So the first case, you investigate for a few minutes, you find some clues, then someone will come in and you'll have to pretty much cross-examine them, which is very similar to the original trilogy. They will give you a series of statements, and you can either press them on their statements. If you see a contradiction in one of their statements that goes against the evidence you've collected so far, you can present that piece of evidence against that statement. Something a bit different in this game is that you are able to use logic and deduction to sort of put together your own evidence or to improve pieces of evidence you've got. So sometimes when you're investigating, you'll find a clue instead of, physical concrete evidence. And once you've collected enough clues, you can go into your deduction mode and you have to collect or connect two clues that fit together. And usually when you fit these two clues together, they will either give you another clue that you would then fit with something else, or they will update a bit of evidence you've got, or they'll just give you a new bit of evidence. So it's actually quite a fresh change of pace. The first Ace Attorney games, after a while, got a little bit samey. The story itself was always fantastic. Some of the later cases are just insanely good, but the gameplay would often get a little repetitive. I think usually by the time I got to like the last cases of the Ace Attorney games, I would just look up a spoiler-free walkthrough, because sometimes there can be a bit of trial and error with trying to make sure you're examining the right location and going to the right location at the right time. I think that will probably come up eventually. I've already had to look up a walkthrough just in the second of 5 cases. But yeah, so far I like you're kind of bouncing back and forth between the cross-examining and the investigating part, because it just means you don't get like as bogged down in one part or the other. You get to kind of go between them, which is quite nice. I will say this game definitely feels harder than the Ace Attorney games, or the Phoenix Wright games, I guess it should say. If you play through the very first case in the first Phoenix Wright game, it's a walk in the park. You don't have to really think about any question at all. It's so easy to get through. Whereas this game, even in the first case, I was really having to kind of stretch my brain a little bit and really think about some of the cases and what evidence I needed to present and that sort of thing. Not like impossible, but definitely feels a little bit harder, even right at the start, than the Phoenix Wright games. So yeah, we'll see how hard it gets. Apparently, chronologically, the games in this collection take place between the Phoenix Wright trilogy and the Apollo Justice trilogy. So I think probably once I'm finished the second case that I'm in the middle of in this game, I think I'll probably go back and finish the Phoenix Wright games. Just because so far I think they've made definitely a couple of references to characters from Phoenix Wright, and one of them, even in the first case, you can tell that this character is at a later point than they were in Phoenix Wright. And I don't quite remember what happened to her in Phoenix Wright, but I recognized her as a character. So yeah, I think once I'm done the second case, I'm going to go back and finish those Phoenix Wright games, then play these ones, and then probably grab the Apollo Justice collection at some point. Like I said, this is a remastered collection, so there's all sorts of quality of life changes. Obviously, these were originally DS games, so they were rendering at like 144p or something. These now are full HD. Not that you're getting the best look at that in this video because it's Steam Deck footage, but they can definitely look very, very HD. All the graphics and character design and sprites have all been smoothed out to make them actually look HD. But a really fun detail is you can actually switch between HD character design and pixel character design. So the backgrounds will all still look HD, but the characters can look like they were on the DS, which is a very fun little detail. Same thing with the music. You can switch between the re-recorded soundtrack and the original soundtrack whenever you want. They also added Autoplay and Story Mode. Autoplay just progresses the dialogue for you, so if you just wanted to, I don't know, set the game down and just read the dialogue as it comes up, you won't have to progress it if you don't want to. Story Mode is basically auto-solving mode. It'll automatically solve all the puzzles in the game. If you don't want to use your brain or anything and you just want to experience the story, perfect for that. Although I do believe you will not get some achievements if you use the story mode, because I got an achievement for finishing the first level or the first case without being on story mode. So just something to bear in mind. There's also a bunch of extras. There's a gallery section with in-game illustrations, character animations, design sketches. There's also an audio section where you can listen to all the tracks in the game. There's also different voice languages. I'm sure those were not on the DS, but you have the option of listening to Japanese voices if you want. I instinctively turned Japanese voices on when I started, and then I was like, wait, no, I played all 3 Phoenix Wright games multiple times originally on the DS, so the English voice lines of Objection and Hold It are seared into my brain. So this is one of the few games where I will actually leave it on English, because those are just the voices that I recognize and that, you know, give me nostalgia. So this is an absolutely fantastic collection. It's just 2 games versus the Phoenix Wright games, which was the Phoenix Wright collection, which was 3 games. But it's priced really well. It's got all these extras. It's got quality of life stuff. It's on modern consoles and everything. Yeah, I think this is fantastic, and I just love that we're getting pretty much all of the Ace Attorney games easily accessible on modern consoles and systems. It's just fantastic. There you go, that was a look at the Ace Attorney Investigations collection. Thank you guys very much for watching. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.